So thank you everyone tonight. This is our Champion Chicks call. We've got women from all generations and all walks of life, and they're going to tell their stories tonight. We made a special girls trip to Las Vegas a couple months ago to the most powerful women in network marketing, a conference with thousands of other women who are focused on building a business and helping people and building relationships. It was a life-changing experience for us. And so we're going to tell our stories tonight. My name is Mary Shear, and this call we've titled Champion Chicks. Our team is Team Many Champions, and we're with the Juice Plus company. So we're going to start out by hearing from Dana Moody, our sweet mama who lives in Colorado, and she's been with the Juice Plus company for a little while. So Dana, would you first please start by unmuting and telling your story to us?
Absolutely, Mary. So as she said, Dana Moody from Colorado. I am a mom of two kiddos, 4 and 6, and was previously a yoga instructor. I guess technically still have certification, but I'm not teaching as much. And as much as I love yoga and doing yoga, and also was teaching just group exercise classes, just came to the point of realizing that I really was really trading hours for dollars with that. If I really wanted to make a full-time income, I would be needing to use my body a lot and teaching classes, and it kind of, I was starting to get burned out, especially with having children. And so right about that time, I was blessed to find this business and product which has helped with my energy, but then has also been a solution for our family's finances. And so we've never been more excited for the future and the unlimited income potential, as well as the awesome benefits package that Juice Plus offers at the top level of the company. So,
wow, Dana, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I know that you shared with me before that this really gave you something big in your future, something that you sometimes feels really big to you. And I'm so proud of you for stepping into it. So would you share with us what you've learned from this women's conference? What stood out for you and what changed things for you?
Absolutely. So today I'm going to be sharing a little bit about social media, specifically Facebook. And for those who are Eric Worre Go Pro people, which is the event that we went to, this kind of correlates with his skill number 1. So finding prospects. So if you ever find yourself in the position of not knowing who to talk to next, just look at your Facebook page, basically. And so with that, when you look at your Facebook page and people look at yours, you want it to have a certain appeal to it and a certain look. And so one of the main things that they taught us was branding ourselves. And what that looks like is picking 4 or 5 topics or things that you feel like describe you. For me, it would probably be yoga, or is yoga and healthy eating, family, just whatever that might be for you. And an easy way to ask friends is just be like, so when you think of me, what are the top 4 or 5 things you think of? And that'll help you kind of figure out your brand, and then you can tweak it as you need to. And being consistent with your brand. So putting any post that you're thinking about posting or things that you're thinking about sharing, filtering them through your brand so that you stay consistent. In addition to that is our pictures, our profile pictures. The little one on your page, you want it to be a good one of your face, so that if you send a friend request, people know it's you right away. So that's really important, and keeping that pretty consistent, not changing it very often. The big banner at the top, having it be something that is brings life and energy to you, and will probably do that to other people. And that is not screaming your company's name as well. That's something that they cautioned us to, is really kind of eliminating putting the name of your company out there, your products out there. Not that you don't have to sometimes, but just not shouting it from the rooftops all the time. So putting it through the filters, and it can tie in with your healthy living and things like that, and maybe showing pictures of your shakes. But your shaker bottle may say Juice Plus on it, but you may not necessarily say, I love my Juice Plus Complete Shake. It's up to you. The other thing is building relationships on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So not just going through and liking things, which sometimes oftentimes that's my default. And so actually going through and commenting on people's their posts or things that they might share or pictures, and trying to get that conversation going if you can, and maybe even eventually taking it to a personal message as fast as you can too. And sometimes it takes a little while, but working towards that so you can create that deeper relationship with people. Another way that you can find prospects is through groups. So joining groups on Facebook, something that's of interest to you because you want it to be fun. You want your business to be fun. And so finding groups that you drive with and that you can provide value to, and not like blaring your product and your story all over it. Someone shows that they may have a need for what we have to offer, then taking that into a personal message, hopefully after you've already created some sort of value and relationship on that group to where people already feel like they kind of know you and you're not just coming out of the blue. Lastly, staying consistent on social media. So whether that's posting 1 time a day or 2 times a day, just staying consistent with that. And I know last night I think I posted something at like 11 or whatever because I realized I hadn't posted all day. So I take lots of pictures throughout the day. Even then, I have those kind of as a backup too. If there's certain days where I need to post, but I didn't even take a picture that day. And so just being consistent, people will start to notice that, and they start to pay attention. And posting things that have value and nothing ever negative. So always positive, nothing political. You will lose friends. Literally lose friends if there's things that are political, and you'll lose your audience. So those are kind of the nuts and bolts of the social media that they sent. There's a few other things too, but those are my main takeaways.
Wow, thank you, Dana. I do know that when people start to love their Juice Plus and they think about people they know and love, sometimes they think they don't know anybody. So thank you for showing us how we can remember that we do, and that whether we're old school or new school like you are, that we can build lifelong relationships using social media, doing it the right way. Not selling
Absolutely.
Juice Plus, but sharing a relationship, bringing value as well as taking value. I love that you added that. So thank you for that. It was really valuable. I appreciate you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. So our next mama that we're going to hear from, I believe, is I think Leah Sheeter is going next, and she is a mama from Orlando. Well, she lives in Orlando now. She's from all over the place, but I'll let her tell her story. So Leah, would you share a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and your story?
Yes, ma'am. So like Mary said, my family and I live in Orlando. My husband and I have 3 little ones, 9 months old, basically a 4-year-old will be next month, and 6 years old. And my husband is a pastor, so we have moved around and worked with different churches around the country, but we've been in Orlando for about 3.5 years now. So a little bit about my story regarding Juice Plus. 9 years ago is when this story began for our family, and really it was a place I had 2 parallel needs in my life, and one of them was I was really, really sick, and I had multiple different health issues going on. It was really confusing, certainly not where I pictured myself when I was 24 years old, and just found myself in a really desperate, confusing place, not knowing really what to do about my health, and really concerned about, if this is where I am now, what does that look like for the next 5 years? Or what does that look like in terms of being able to have a family? Or what does that look like in terms of, living a life from a thriving sense instead of just surviving? So all of these things were going through my mind. And on the same token, I was also proactively looking for a way to build a second stream of income, because I was working a 40 to 50 hour week corporate job, which I did not want to do long term. I did not want to work on somebody else's schedule and in the 4 walls of an office the majority of the day and not be able to pour into the people that I cared most about. But also because we were in church planting so there was always going to be a need. If I was going to be able to stay home when we had kids, we were going to have some kind of second stream of income. So both of these needs were kind of coming to a head at the same time when I was introduced to Juice Plus. And so in the last 9 years, our family's health is completely different. I have tons of energy. Asthma and allergies are non-existent in our home now. And financial freedom is a reality for us now. And we've been able to get rid of all of our debt, and we have a really exciting future of being able to invest in things that matter to our family and give more to others.
Awesome. That is quite a story for a young person to go through all of that. So thank you for sharing that. Would you share with us as well what your biggest takeaway was from the women's conference in Las Vegas?
Yeah, so one of the speakers, Denise Robinson, she spoke on essentially how to get people started. And one of the key things about building a business with what we do is how to invite other people into what you're doing. How do you invite people to take a look at what you do? And so she shared some really awesome principles that I think will always stick with me. And one of the things I think first and foremost is to make a decision. What do you want to get out of what you're doing, and making the decision that that's what you're going to do. And when you make the decision, you acknowledge the point that you're at. Because one of the things she said was, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. To run your own race. And I know in my personal journey in this business, that's one of the best pieces of advice I can give myself on a daily basis, is to run my own race. And to also remember that one of the pieces that she talked about was how, this is relationship marketing. And Dana spoke to that a little bit in regards to how we use social media. But when you think about inviting people to what you have, to take a look at what you have, it's important to remember that this is happening in the context of relationship. A stranger is a friend that you haven't met yet. So being willing to have those conversations and meet new people. And she talked about 4 different types of people. So one would be a consumer. So that might be a customer or a family planner, somebody who's wanting to cover the costs for their family. Connector is another type of person. So that's like the life of the party. Maybe they're not always good at the follow-up, but they're really good at gathering people. And so we all have our strengths in different areas, and we can complement each other in that. She talked about builders, and those are the people that basically say, I want to do this, and they're coachable. So they're going to put the time and the work in. And then leaders, she quantified as people who maybe have had previous network marketing experience, or they have large networks of people. So they're probably going to do it with or without you. They're just going to take it and run with it. So just being aware of the different types of people that are out there, and living in relationship with people, and essentially meeting them where they're at, and helping each person make a decision that resonates with them about what's the next step for them. And the cool thing about it is, the systems that we have and what we do are duplicatable. Personalities aren't, but so many different types of personalities can be successful in what we do. Any kind of personality can. So like I mentioned in the beginning, we really grow our businesses and we grow our income and our impact by inviting people to take a look at what we do. 80% of our time really is spent. That's where we want to spend 80% of our time, is inviting people to take a look at what we have. And she talked about the 4 P's of success, which would be plugged in. You want to do that quickly, plug people in quickly. Paid out, so you want them to get a paycheck quickly. Promoted, and praised. So really emphasizing those 4 P's help people not only take a look, get started, but get started with a positive experience. There's another P for you. This business really is the great equalizer, because this profession, it closes the gender gap, the age gap. Anybody can do this. And you can plant a seed and water it well by meeting people where they are, inviting them to take a look. And she talked about how that can grow into a tree that leaves shade for generations to come, for people that won't even know you. And I think that's the long-term vision that we all want to have in what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Wow, Leah, thank you so much. You really put a bow on her presentation, and really how to make a difference, to leave a legacy. I think you talked about that in your NMD speech. So how you can do that, just starting by meeting people where they're at and planting seeds. I love that. Thank you. So our next mama, we're going to champion check, we're going to hear from is Sherry Allison, and she is coming to us from, I know she lives in Las Vegas. I believe she's there today. So Sherry, you want to share your story with us and where you are and a little bit about your family?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Sherry Allison, and I am living here in Las Vegas with my two kids, 13 and 10. My husband and I have been here for 3 years, and my background is nursing, and I've absolutely loved being a nurse. I love taking care of their patients and their families, and I've done that for the past 15 years. But the problem with being a nurse was that I didn't get to take care of my own family the way I wanted to, and I worked long hours, never got out on time as hard as I tried, and because I was struggling with a lot of chronic illnesses like fatigue, mold illness, Lyme disease, food sensitivities, as well as anxiety and depression, I used most of my vacation days for doctor visits. And my husband and my kids were basically getting whatever time that was left over, which really wasn't that much. And so that was taking a huge toll on our family. And so I realized that I was spending more time taking care of everyone else, and I wasn't taking care of the ones who mattered the most to me. And so I'm excited to say that I have found a solution that has not only helped me gain progress in my own health, but has given me a way that I can work from anywhere and spend more time with my family. And in just 2 short years, my husband will start medical school, and I will be able to support our family financially so that he doesn't have to work when he's going to school. So I feel so much better. I'm 38 now, and I feel so much better at 38 than I ever did when I was turning 30. And so for me, like, my future for my health and for our family's health is so bright, but the kids are so much happier with me home. And it's really made a huge impact on our marriage as well, which is super important to me and our family. And so the other thing is just being able to help people transform their health and their finances and own their own time is super exciting to me.
Wow, Sherry, I every time I hear your story, I'm just riveted at your determination, your perseverance. And the one thing that I do know about healthcare professionals and moms in general, honestly, is that we'll take care of everybody else before we will take care of our own selves. So I'm glad that was a gift that Juice Plus gave you as well, just the gift of your own self-care. So I'm excited about that, and your progress. It's just been amazing to watch. So Sherry, share with us, I know you just walked across the street practically when you went to the women's event, but that's okay. It was so fun to have you there in Las Vegas. So tell us what your big takeaway was from that event.
The most powerful Women in Network Marketing event was so eye-opening for me, because it really helped me realize that I could earn more money and be more financially free as a network marketing professional than I ever would be able to as a nurse, and it would give my family more options. So that was huge. And just seeing all the successful people, just knowing, everyone got there by building, one step at a time, and just, knowing that I could do the same thing. So another thing too is that another big takeaway that I had is that, we all have areas where we feel inadequate to maybe do this business and to become a network marketing professional. But what I really took away was that if you believe in yourself and you work the steps, we can all be successful. So My portion that I'm going to talk about tonight is on representing your product and the opportunity to your prospects. They just brought up to remember that, you know, you're a consultant who connects people with tools and events or other distributors to help them become educated. And so, you know, just realizing that you're there to listen to people. We've talked so much tonight about building relationships with people, but you're really just listening and being empathetic with people and waiting until you hear the problem that they're dealing with. Maybe it's their finances, maybe it's their health, but just really listening and being present with them, and looking at that area of opportunity to share the product, to share Juice Plus with them, to share the business, because both of them are incredible ways that you can bless somebody. And the last part I would share was, you know, we all have fears when it comes to this business that we're working through and that we're overcoming. People are going to judge you, but just know that, you know, if you believe in yourself, if we believe in ourselves, like, there's nothing that we can't do. And so sometimes the biggest sell, and this is what really spoke volumes to me, sometimes the biggest sell is selling yourself on your own success and just really believing in yourself that you can do this. And so it was just really encouraging to help me believe in myself, to believe in our business, and to believe that we can be successful network marketing professionals.
Absolutely, because most of us did not come, Sherry, to Juice Plus thinking, I'm going to be a network marketing professional and flexing our muscles. It's something that we've had to learn, but you've shown us, and so has Leah and Dana, that this is built on relationships and connecting with people. I love that we're a consultant, that we connect people to the tools that help them solve their problems. We get to be problem solvers. So thank you for seeing that, and thank you for sharing that with us, Sherry. Awesome. And I think the next person we get to hear from is Lisa Maddock, a champion mama from, well, she's not from Troy, Missouri, but she lived there for a while. So you want to tell us your story, Lisa?
Hey, everyone. Well, first of all, I just love hearing from everybody. It's so great to reminisce on our great event that we had in Vegas and all the takeaways. So my name's Lisa Maddock. I'm a mom of 4. I do live in Troy, Missouri. I'm originally from Florida. And my story on how I got involved with Juice Plus 13 years ago, I was actually really sick myself. I had crippling digestive issues. I suffered from frequent panic attacks, high anxiety. I had a hyperthyroid at the time and didn't know it. So Juice Plus really came in and saved the day for me. It immediately made sense, and I had a huge turnaround, and that's when I started sharing it. Really, well, about 6 months into my journey, had the turnaround in my health, and then started sharing it because I was looking around at all these people that had asthma and allergies, and they were sick, chronically sick. And I wanted to share this with them. This was a solution that I had found, and I thought that it could be a solution for them. So I started sharing it. And really, I've been a stay-at-home mom for 17 years. My background is in Montessori teaching, and I love it. I love teaching little people. But the problem with my background is that when you teach other people's kids, your kids come last, and you're serving those children first. And I love doing that, but I love being a mom more. And because of my Juice Plus business, I've been able to be a stay-at-home mom. The bulk of my business I have grown being a homeschooling mom and having babies and growing my family. So it's only been in the recent last 2 years of my business that I've been home and on my own with no kids. So it's been an amazing opportunity for our family. It's been a significant blessing. And now moving forward as a goal for our family, my husband's a union electrician, and he has a pension with the union, but we don't have to completely rely on that. This is going to be our retirement plan for him. He doesn't have to stay and be an electrician until he's 65. You know, he can pull out of there and let his body heal up, you know, after 20 plus years of being in the field. And now I get to do the second half of our life here for retirement plan, and really just moving into what the Vegas takeaways were, that for my goal and my personal journey it just concreted it for me, being a network professional. So I probably could just go straight into it, Mary.
Okay, well, just do that then. I love your story. Thank you for sharing it. It is just
You're
such
welcome.
an overcoming story. So tell us what your big takeaway from the Las Vegas conference was. Lisa.
Yeah, it was an amazing event. It was my first big event outside of the Juice Plus community. So it was really impactful to see all of these thousands and thousands of people that are all in network marketing companies, that are all like love their companies. You know, it was interesting. We weren't allowed to like say where we were from or talk about our own things, which is for Juice Plus people, that's so different because we're used to just always talking about our food and the product and how and health and nutrition. And so that was really interesting right there. And just, I think it gave me a sense of integrity in network marketing. I've been growing in this area, period. In fact, there is so much giving and serving in our community that I actually didn't even know we were in network marketing until I was like 3-4 years in the business. I was like, what? Because we have so much gifting that we give to people and we serve and we really do educate. And that's why my Montessori background comes, you know, very natural to me, to educate people. But that really, I took that away as a huge eye opener, like what a professional that we are. And, just as a business person, just so much more respect for what we do have in network marketing. And that our company, the Juice Plus company, is leading the way in so much integrity and has always led the way in so much integrity. But it just made me even more proud of specifically what our Juice Plus company offers for us as a network marketing professional, and just the safety net that they offer for us. Even though we're entrepreneurials and we're out there building our businesses, we have a company that has our back, and that was just profound for me. The other part that really stuck out to me is just the serious amount of money. Everybody that spoke from the stage were $1 million earners or six-figure income earners, and it just, the amount of money that you can make through duplication. And really in our business, duplication means you've just made a lot of friends and you've taught those friends to make a lot of friends. That's how people duplicate. And to hear the amount of money that people were pulling in the figures was just incredible. And it gave me much hope. As I said in the beginning, my goal is to really retire my husband and have that freedom. And am I freezing up or am I okay?
You're good.
Oh, good. Okay. And it just spoke to that piece even more for me, just where I want to go and what I want to do with our network marketing industry within this industry. And it gave hope to what the opportunity is out there. It really is up to you. And we've heard this before. I've heard this. I've been in the field for 13 years and I've heard it over and over. There's no glass ceiling. You make your own pay raise. But until that becomes like a reality to you, until you make those decisions to do that, and you have the confidence and the skill set to do that, that's when everything just kind of focuses in and it aligns. And I think that's what the Vegas event did for me. It brought everything into alignment and gave me a lot of confidence and a lot of pride for what we have, and just to be even more of a professional in what we do.
Excellent. So thank you for sharing that, Lisa. And if you're listening to her, I'm thinking you're going, when is the next big event like that? Because she came home and she is on fire. So I would just encourage you to get with the person that brought you to this call and find out when the next big event is that you can attend, that you can experience what the Juice Plus company has to offer. Maybe even bigger yet, go to an Eric Worre event and have get that education, but get excited about what you're doing. Fall in love with Juice Plus, fall in love with the company and the business. And then, of course, Lisa is madly in love with the network marketing industry now because it is her future. So thank you for sharing that with us, Lisa. Awesome. So Jeanette is our champion mama in Kansas City. So Jeanette, would you please share your story with us and tell us a little bit about you?
Yes, I'd love to. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Yeah, my background was in retail management, and and then I soon became a stay-at-home mom, and so now I have a 9, a 14, and a 16-year-old. So you can see that that happened about 12 years ago, and I also became a fitness instructor about that time as well. After my first daughter was about 1 year old. And so the issue with that was, honestly, every day almost that I was in retail management, I was looking for something better. And the reason for that was the income potential. And I knew that if I was not happy as a married with no kids, with that income, there's no way it could fill in the gaps for when I was raising a family. And then the other issue with that was the hours that retail management requires. And I definitely knew that there's no way that I could work those hours and really be able to be an effective mom. So, and of course, being a fitness instructor, that, works great as far as the hours. I work 8 hours a week about fitness instructing, but you can imagine that doesn't bring in a very big paycheck. So, when my kids were starting to go back to work or go back to school, I was looking to take some financial strain off of my husband. And that's when Juice Plus found me about 12 years ago. And what I was really looking for at first was, my husband had really bad allergies, and he also had high blood pressure. And we were young, we were in our young 30s at that time, and I knew that something had to change. I was also very concerned about my children, because we have diabetes and cancer on both sides of our family. And from what the education that I learned from Juice Plus, I was getting that hope that I could erase those things out of our DNA. And so, as I knew Juice Plus could help my family with our health, I obviously knew that it can help all other people with theirs. So I was so ready to be able to share this information with others. And like Lisa, I wasn't really thinking that this was network marketing. Let's get in here and let's make some money. I was just thinking about, who can I share this with? So, and then what I noticed is, as I was sharing with people and really caring about them, my paycheck was growing. And so what I have really noticed, or really excited about for my future, is that this has really created an income for a husband that is in corporate America and has been bought out 3 times now. And if you are familiar with that at all, it doesn't get better as you get bought out, right? As the company gets bigger, the commissions get smaller, you work harder for less or the same amount of money. So it gives me so much hope knowing that as my, there's no ceiling. And so that we have been able to take vacations that I know we probably wouldn't have been able to otherwise. We've been able to do some updates to our house and continue to do that, so we are able to entertain and our friends and our family as well, and our kids' friends. And then also there's just an incredible benefits package. I know you've heard about that from some of the others that shared here, but 2 of my kids, 14 and 16, they're getting close to college age, and the tuition reimbursement is very exciting to me, as well as the rest of the benefits package, which is amazing. So, as I said, I was very excited about the education that I could share with other people about the product, but also it's given me a huge passion to share about the financial part of it as well, because I know there's others in the same kind of situation that I might be in that it can change their life.
Wow, Jeanette. So share with us then your big takeaway from the Las Vegas Women's Conference.
Okay. Yes, one of the ladies, her name was Gloria Mayfield Banks, and she was actually she was best described as energy in motion, and she definitely was. She was a lot of fun. But she's also a very intelligent woman. She has her MBA from Harvard University. She also has been ranked one of the #1 people in sales in her company. So some of the things, excuse me, that she shared was, really when you're sharing your product or about your opportunity for your business, is that it really makes a huge difference what your attitude is coming into it. And I know some days that are easier to do that than others. but people really do see before you even get to the event that you really want to have that right attitude and the right atmosphere as well. So having, you know, everything set up right and maybe a little bit of music in the background is kind of fun as well. Another thing I thought that was very interesting is when you do have a presentation, she said there's 4 different things that you really want to have or to make sure that you do within your presentation. So one of them is recognition. And so when you have people in your, you know, in your living room, you know, just recognizing them. So for one example is, you know, a lot of times when we do events, we at least have one other person that's another is a taker of Juice Plus. So maybe recognizing them for what they've already accomplished or what Juice Plus has done for them. And then inspiring people. And I think we pretty much do that regularly with Juice Plus. Motivation, same thing. And then education. And I think those easily go into our presentations. But maybe that recognition thing, that was the thing that really stuck out to me with that part of what she was sharing is maybe what I don't necessarily do. And you don't have to recognize everybody in the room, but how people will get what you have shared or recognize one person, they'll feel like they were recognized as well, if that makes sense. Another thing that she mentioned is it does make a difference on who shares when, like the order. So when we share our stories, just thinking about maybe a very impactful story that is going to, you know, start it out and close it in both of those areas. And again, she did mention recognition is huge, so not to forget that. Another thing was our skill set is that we always want to continue to grow in our skills, and it makes a huge difference of who we're hanging out with, right? Who we're learning from. So people that are moving forward, that's very important to be their friend, right? And to work alongside them. And then of course, consistency causes excellence. So just constantly, you know, continuously working towards what we're working towards. So working on those skills and then using them, right? Not just continuing to educate yourself, but having to use those and not thinking you have to be perfect before you start to use those. Okay, another thing she said about was image, and that in the first 7 seconds that you meet somebody, you want to make sure that you make a good impression. You have 7 seconds, okay? And one thing I thought that she said that was funny or was interesting was that if you have not been complimented by if somebody hasn't complimented your hair in the last 6 months, it's time to change it. So just so you know, I do have an appointment in a couple days on Thursday. So, okay. Another thing that she talked about was serving well. And as leaders, serving is very important. And I know sometimes we don't think about that. We think about, not necessarily leaders serving, but, we think about the biggest leader that we have, right? Jesus was a huge server, right? So that helps me to be a leader, knowing that that's what we do in Juice Plus, right? We serve others. So, okay, I think that was my biggest takeaways from it. Was an incredible event.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I am so ecstatic that you don't have to live in the retail world anymore, because that is 8 to faint, and that you get to choose your hours, and your kids are gonna have options. And I think the thing that you said that made me the most comfortable with all of this, because I don't want to sell Juice Plus, and I don't think anybody does, but that we focus on serving others and serving them well. So thank you for bringing that up, Jeanette. I appreciate that. So our next champion chick, mama and grandmama, we're going to hear from is Teri Schultz. And if I could say your middle name right, I would, because I think it would be appropriate here. But I love you, Teri Schultz. So tell us your story.
Thank you. My mom used to say it, Terry Moline, and then that was, whatever came after that. So anyway, I'm Teri Schultz, and I used to be a legal secretary. And frankly, it sounds kind of boring, I know, but I loved it. I was a secretary since I was 14 years old and could follow around the church secretary. And I did whatever she said. And then eventually I did, I got to thinking about that. I've been following around men since I was pretty much a teenager, asking, what can I do for you? And could I type it, or could I file it, or something. I'm just like, really? That was my big ambition in life. Awesome. But I did love it. And I don't know if I loved probably the servant part of it, and bringing stuff together. But my heart's desire was to, one day marry, become a mom. And that did happen. And after it happened, I found that I didn't love walking around serving men as much anymore. Surprising. And so I wanted to serve little men. I had 2 little boys, so I wanted to serve little men, not big men. And so I couldn't do that, though, because, I had to contribute to our family income. And so so my heart was kind of torn for a lot of years. And then fast forward to baby number 2, and just a couple months old, I became a single parent. And then I had to work harder and more hours, and, so that I could support us on a single income. So my heart was, even more torn, because really I didn't see my boys at all very much. Even to see them, I took them to work with me on Saturdays. They still talk about that. Not in a positive way, but when I was around the beautiful age of 40, I moved to Missouri and had an opportunity to remarry. I always found the man of my dreams, and I became chronically ill pretty quickly, and an MS diagnosis. And it wasn't too long after that I happened to run into this amazing stranger that was sharing Juice Plus at a hockey game. And I didn't immediately swoop it up, but I did eventually in a couple of months. And, it made a big impact on my health, and then on the health of my family. And then eventually I did see the business opportunity. And what that afforded me then long term was, by the time that my oldest son was in high school, I homeschooled him 3 years. And then by the time that my youngest son was in junior high and high school, I spent so much time at school that people thought that I worked there. So that filled me up. That made everything right in my mom world. And now like you said, Mary, I'm a grandma, and I totally am wanting and am trying to be a very active grandma. We have a new baby coming this summer, and so my heart's desire is to be as active as I can be in their lives as well, and then to do all the fun things that I don't call myself a senior yet, but that maybe seniors want to do. Like travel and, those type of things that my husband and I really want to, we are looking forward to doing that. And so from what several people have mentioned, the benefits package and income and all of that, that's what's going to allow that to happen. And what the income means to me, and Mary, I struggled with this in the beginning, but what the income means to me, the more income means, the more people I helped, and the more people that got to have amazing, lives and opportunities to be involved in their kids' lives, just like I have. So
awesome! Wow, Teri, thank you for sharing that. And so, Teri, what was your takeaway from the professional conference that we went to?
Well, if you know me, you know that I am seriously drawn to stories. And when I meet you, I'll want to know your story. And I'm especially drawn to people who have overcome. I mean, they figured it out, whatever they had to overcome. And, honestly, when I think about it, we've all done that, but I don't think everybody recognizes it. And so there was a couple ladies there that really piqued my interest. And I encourage you guys to Google them, because, I mean, their stories are incredible. One of them was Lisa Grossman. And she talked very little about her story, and she gave lots of good things, but her story is what hooked me in. She went from, as a young person, running a successful family business to finding network marketing, to troubles with the federal government, to court, to a shocking sentence, to prison, to success again, and now she's a speaker and trainer on a worldwide stage. I'm just like, I have no excuses. I have nothing to complain about. And, you know, when I stand up against somebody who's kind of went through all that. And so I want to encourage you tonight. You are going to have challenges in your business, like your life. It's going to happen. And so, but I also want to encourage you to embrace it because the next lady that talked, her name was Susan Sly, and I loved her just as much. She also overcame a health challenge. Her deal was, I think she was Crohn's. And for those of you who know people with Crohn's, it is debilitating. And she talked about that and how she really, that was, you know, she had to come back from that. But she said this, that leadership is forged in the flames of challenge. And when I thought about that, I thought, isn't that exactly right? We don't become the best that we can be when, you know, we got everything going great. No, that's not our best. Our best is when everything's not going great, and that brings out the best in us. Now, I'm not wishing for things not to go the best. I'm just saying it's going to happen. So just, you know, just don't be surprised, and you can embrace the growth. And so that's for me, because there was a time in my life that I was like surprised, like something bad happened. And so, but now I totally see it as a way. Well, it's the cycle of life, and it's a way to really, if we embrace it, we can grow. She said a couple of things I just want to bring out today that I think can help you. She said, don't let someone else's procrastination become your chaos. About that statement. Really, I know. She said this. She said, either you can keep on going the way you're going and stay stuck, or at least where you are if you don't feel stuck, overwhelmed, exhausted, or you can take action and change your future. So who else? I mean, who has the option to do that? Only we do in our own lives. And so I just loved both of these ladies' outcomes because it seems to match where my outcome, where my mindset has evolved to. And so so I love them, Mary. That it was an awesome opportunity. Thank you for pressuring me to go, and I love you for it.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I could say anything. Thank you, Teri, so much. Leadership is forged in the flames of challenges. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for being a light. All of you, thank you for that. I just want to share briefly. I told you my name at the beginning, Mary Shear. I live in St. Charles, Missouri. It's where I've grown up. My background is nursing, and there is a problem with nursing. Sherry talked about it earlier, and Lisa talked about it too. And teaching is that and Teri talked about it too. I mean, when you are in a profession like that, and you're all in the profession, you take better care of the people in your arena than you do in your own family. And you're not even on your own list. So what Juice Plus, that was the solution for me. I was looking for an answer. I almost missed it. But what it brought me was a chance to be in control of my health again. Because it came with education, it came with a community, a safe community. It came with a place where I could be vulnerable. I could tell my story. I could fall down and people would help pick me up. I have friends like these that span generations, these women. And not just women. There's men behind these women as well. So it was a safe place for me to learn that, and to also learn to be in control of my finances and to have options, to be able, as one of our mentors, Christine Averill, says, to be able to say yes more often. And so that is why I pressured, if you will, these beautiful people in my life to come to Las Vegas with me because I could not wait for them to see a bigger picture than they'd already seen. So my encouragement to you is that there will be, as several of these women, especially Teri alluded to, disappointments because it's a people business. And so I encourage you to lock arms with whoever invited you on this call, to check your love for Juice Plus. Check it off. Do it. Get the education. Fall in love with it. Check your love for the company Juice Plus, the company that has our backs. Check your love for the business that pays us in a fashion that no other business that I've ever known about will pay you. They pay you for helping people, for connecting, all those things you heard these women say. And check off and fall in love with a profession where you can hold your head high and know that the more people you help and the more people you teach to help people will bring you a larger income that you can give back to your circle of influence in your community. So you get to do all those things. So learn how to discipline your disappointments and make sure that you have somebody locked arms and lockstep with you in your dreams, focused on your dreams, because as you heard these women say, there is no glass ceiling. So just know it's about being brave. And I just want to thank all these champion chicks tonight, because the definition of a champion in short is to stand in the gap, to stand in a place where some of you may not know yet. So let them do that for you and let them teach you how to be that for other people. Thanks, everyone. I hope you learned a lot. I hope that your level of interest in all those things, Juice Plus and everything, was heightened, and that you'll take the next step of education, understanding, and you'll continue to be a part of our culture and our community. Thanks for listening. And thank you, champion chicks. You're champions in my life. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Good night.